All right, so I'm Amanda. Thank you for coming tonight. We're doing the A to Z database class online here. And just a few notes before we begin. The library is going to be opening full Monday through Saturday service, and that is next Monday. Tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, we're still doing our express service, so it's still only upstairs. That is open, but you can check out and browse all of those fun things and use the computer. But so these are our last few days. Today was our last day for curbside pickup, and we're making our way out. So we're really excited and hope we can see you in the library. The only things that aren't going back to, I guess you could call it normal, would be in-person programming. We are still holding off a little bit for that. And then being able to book our meeting rooms. So those are the only two things. Everything else we're moving forward with. So we're really excited to have you in. So let's go ahead and get started here. So A to Z databases. This is something that you can use to look up businesses and also residential information. If you're looking for like someone's phone number or their address, this is a place that you can go other than going to like the white pages to try and find that information. So just want to reference back to this. So there's 30 million records for domestic companies. And all these profiles have like the executive names, their historic information, any salary information, and how many employees they might have, things like that. So you can get a lot of info from it. To get there, you start at our homepage. So it's midlibrary.org. And then you go to our resources tab. And then you would want to select online databases. Here we have our whole list. Right at the beginning here, since it's alphabetical, is A to Z databases. There is also the Reference Solutions, which used to be Reference USA. That is a very similar service to this. So tonight we're just looking at A to Z databases, but if you're used to that service, that is also there for you. But it's very, very similar. And when you are outside of the library, it's going to ask you to put in your library card number. So I'm going to go ahead and get mine here. Just paste that in and log in. So this is our homepage that it opens up to. As you can see, it's pretty busy. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is busy.
But it's important to just zero in on the middle part of the page. So this section here that my cursor is kind of wrapping around. So this is your main spot that you're going to be looking at. And then also you have some tabs up at the top. So if this is a new database to you, it is going to be helpful to look at some of the stuff at the top. So there's some intro videos that you can look at. When we click into that, it's kind of separated by title. So this is, if you just want a quick overview of the database, there's a little video you can watch. We're not going to look at those today, only because that'll take up some of the time of going through it. But like they're done by the company and they're very well done. So definitely take the time to look at those. They might have a little bit more information or extra tips on how to do something more than I would. I am not an A to Z database expert in the sense that I would have every answer for you. So, this is definitely a place you could go to see if you can get your question answered. There also is up at the top another tab for FAQ. So here's just some commonly asked questions, and they have it split up by category. And then below is their answers. And then they also do have like a to Z training center to kind of help you with this. And then there also is how to cite the database, kind of help with that. So there's a lot of help up at the top. So make sure to check that out. But let's just start with if we were looking for a business. So a lot of times when people, especially people who are self-employed, might use A-to-Z databases for a business aspect. You can type in a business name. We're just going to do Target as an example. You can change whether or not it contains this name. It has to be the exact name, or the fuzzy search just means it could maybe be the answer you're looking for, maybe not, just when you want, like if you want, if you're not really sure on the spelling, so you don't know if you put it in correctly, you might want to do the fuzzy one instead because it will kind of catch your mistake. You can put in a city if you want, or a state, but you don't have to. And there is an advanced search for more, but we're just going to quick do this blanket one. So it kind of splits up into different areas. So the first one is just Target, and that's the headquarters because they have HQ there. So I'm going to click on that one because that's the main one I wanted. I didn't want any distribution centers. I just wanted Target. So here you have a bunch of information that you can kind of jump to when you go into each section of these. There's more information, but there is just like the quick overview. They have their physical address and their mailing address, their main phone number, and then some executive names. And then if you're looking for like how far away it is from a certain distance, you can put in that and see how far away it is from you. There's demographic information here. There's their business credit rating. There's also the industry profile. So this is something that a lot of people pay attention to when they are doing their business because of the SIC codes, or the, I don't know how to say that acronym if it's one, but the NAICS codes. So these are codes that businesses are looking for. So that's where you would find that within the profile here. And then you also have things like job postings that pop up. Job hunting, we're going to look at that in a little bit, is also another thing that you can use A-to-Z databases for. So there's a lot of information here. And they also have competitors. So if you're trying to reach Target and their competitors for your business, this would be really helpful in that sense. You can, if you look down at the bottom of the screen here, there is a download button. So if you wanted to download this information, you can click here, and then it's going to ask you to, if you want to name it, and then how you want it to be. Do you want it to be text? Do you want it to be an Excel sheet? Do you want just the results view, or do you want all the details as well? And then the custom, you can also just choose which sections you want. So then you can do continue. And now it's going to say, okay, if I hit allow, then it's going to start downloading. So I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want all of that going on my computer. But it's a really simple, fast way that it's going to download the information. And it usually either goes into your downloads folder, or it's going to go in the downloads for your browser. So on my browser here, I'm in Safari right now on a Mac. So my downloads for my browser is just this little arrow. And then I can select which one and move it to my desktop. If you're on a PC computer, it's probably just going directly to your downloads folder. But it also, Internet Explorer has the same kind of, or Firefox has the same kind of arrow that's pointing down. That is your downloads for your browser. So that's another place you could look. And then it also has a print button here. So if you just want to start printing directly, you would hit that, and then you can set up what you want printed. You can also email it. So if you want to email it to yourself or to somebody else, you can do that as well. So I'm going to go back to my results. So you have a few buttons here. There's back to results, revise search, and new search. So I'm just going to go back to results and just show you. So other than the main headquarters target, then they have the different distribution centers. And it says that they have 162 pages here down at the bottom of all that information. Now, if there's something you want a new search, we could do new, and it's just going to go back to our home page. So that's just an example of how you would do a business or executive. There is, I'm going to do next the job section. So like I said, you can use AtoZDatabases for job hunting as well. So there's find a job, and then there's also career resources. So there's things like how to prepare for interviews, and they have skill assessments. How do you apply to jobs? How do you interview? Things like that. So first, let's do the find a job. So maybe I want to look to be, I'm a chef or something, and I want it in Wisconsin. Search. You can see what pops up. So here I am, it's showing me all the different Wisconsin chef jobs that are currently available. And this is usually what AtoZDatabase uses, is they pull these from Indeed. So anytime it's listed there, it would pop up here. The great thing is though, when you have this information here, you can click on the business name and then find out more about the business. So it's kind of a one-stop shop if you're looking for a job, because you can then look at the business and do your research for your interview. All right. If you kind of scroll down, looks like there was, oh, there's one at Madison. That one's at UW campus, culinary supervisor. When you click on these, like I said, it goes to Indeed. So it is going to link to where the original posting is, and then it will tell you where you apply. So it looks like it's asking you to apply on the company site.
Would you be able to sort that by cities?
Let's see.
That list?
Let me. It doesn't look like it, but what you can do is that you can revise search. And then I could go back and say, like, I only want Madison, Wisconsin. So if you want something super particular, I would put that in the original search. So now it's just showing me Madison, and it looks like some areas around Madison.
Wow.
So there's 3 pages for chef jobs in Madison. Right
Madison,
now.
wow.
But that's actually a pretty good number, because sometimes I feel like that would be a hard job to look for. So if you want to be a, let's see here, a sushi chef, you could go work at Hy-Vee. And then it does show, so you have the title, the business name, the city, state, the date that it was posted. But then if you click here, it'll show all jobs that are being offered by that company right now. So maybe that's not exactly what you were thinking, but you're interested in that company. So you can click on there, and then you can see everything that they have available. So I clicked on Sur La Table, so they have other stuff there. And the chef popped up because they have that kitchen in the back where they teach. So that's kind of fun. But if you notice, every time I have clicked on something, it has opened up another tab. So it's not going to get rid of your search. It's always just going to open another tab. So make sure when you're closing out of things that you close out in that tab, and then you'll be able to get back. That's the job stuff. Let's see. Let's go back home. The next one, so we have the business, then we have jobs. Oh, I forgot to look at the career resources. Let's take a look at that. So the how to prepare is a nice little help section here. So it's going to help you figure out, okay, find, what your strengths and weaknesses are, how you can summarize your skills, and then just some tips on how to find the right place through this database. The how to apply kind of gives some tips on resumes and cover letters and what employers are looking for. And then the how to interview. So they have some interview questions that you can practice, and then they have some videos on some tips on what to do and what not to do. And then how to follow up afterwards. So just some really great help on that. I feel like this is definitely a place where that information is going to stay up to date as the trends for those kinds of things change. You can search on the internet for just about anything, and when you look up help for looking for jobs and resumes and cover letters, sometimes it's not always up to date. It could be information from 10 years ago when the trends were different on that stuff. So it's a good place, credible place to get that kind of information. And then after jobs, we have another section here, which is for finding residential people. So this is similar to like the white pages. You can find a person by their name, or you could try by phone. So we're going to try and look for me, see if we can find me. First, I'll try with my married name. It's trying to pop up my husband there. I'm just going to say both. City, I'll put Madison, Wisconsin, because I know, oh, looks like they have state. Okay, Madison. Let's see, Wisconsin. You don't always have to put the city or state. Sometimes you can get stuff with just the name if it's a really unique name. But if you have a name like John Smith, that's not going to grab anything. So you'd want to make sure to do a city or state to kind of help out. Tells me no records found. So let's try my maiden name and see if anything pops up. It's always fun to see what you can get. All right, so it came up with my maiden name. It looks like it is a residential record for both that popped up. If I click into one of them, it gives some information. So this was my first address in Madison when I moved here. Fortunately, you get to see my age. And there's some neighborhood information here. This isn't necessarily based on the person. This is just based off of who else might live around here. So if I go back.
So why doesn't it show your married name?
It's probably just because of, so the way that they get their information. I mean, it could have been that I had my name out in enough places where some people, how information gets passed around. Sometimes it gets sold by different companies and you don't even know it. So that's probably how it got in there eventually. But also things like my address, that's also known by, the county and the state with my taxes. That's kind of information that's out there. So I would think that's probably, since they don't have a lot of information on me, it's probably more, this is just known stuff about me that you can find publicly. Sometimes for some people, there's a lot more information in here, and it probably is because they sign up for a lot of things that eventually those companies are selling their information, and it just makes its way. A to Z database is not a place that is what's the word I'm looking for? It's not mischievous in any way. So the way that they're getting their information is definitely, above board and by the books. But whether or not other people got that information previous and they just kind of add it all in is a different story. So, I'm really, I guess, careful about what I do in terms of like signing up for things or at websites and stuff. So there's not a whole lot of extra information on me out there. I guess we could try a different person, see what we get. Let's try. Let's go back home again. I'm gonna try up one of my parents, because also like you have more time on this earth. I feel like you have more available, more information out there. No, just one pops up, and it's just a residential record. The interesting thing is that, like, yeah, I think their neighbor does still live there, so it pulls up the neighbors too, and then you get phone numbers. So mine didn't have a phone number because I've never had a landline on my own. Only when I lived with my parents, I've had a cell phone ever since then. But my parents do have a landline, so their number is included here because that is in the phone book. Now, if you have a landline, but you have your number on like do not call lists and it's not in the phone book, you have taken out of that, you may not find it. There is, down on the bottom here, there's this mailing list, sales, leads, emails, advanced searching. So you can use this to see if you can find more information on people. So let's see here. Maybe I want, let's try me this way. And the reason why it's a different spot is because it's using different different pools of information when it's doing this. So let's do. Oh, it wants me to fill in. Okay. Nope, still not. I guess I'm just not foundable. But let's try. Let's see. No, there's got to be somebody out there that I can get more stuff on. I'm just going to do state and not city. Nope, no records found. Okay.
Do Tammy Baldwin or someone like that.
Oh, I could do that. Okay, so here, this is kind of a good one here. So this is one of my sisters, and it is bringing up, so this is with her maiden name. I know because I know the different places she's lived. I know that This is one that she's lived at, and this is one that she's lived at. Now, there's another person in our same hometown that has the same name as her. The only reason
You gotta be kidding.
I'm telling the truth. So the only reason we found that out is because one time when she went to go pick up her contacts at Target, because she used the Target optical, there was that other Sheila who also used Target optical, and Sheila was like, that's not my contacts. And so she was like, that's not me. And then they found out that there's more than one Sheila. So, you know, you can get multiple people in this way. And then also here, Sheila does not work at Bluestone Physician Services. So this must be the owner of this, this business here that popped up as well. Maybe that's the person who also lives in Forest Lake, because it looks like this business is in Stillwater, and that's not too far from Forest Lake. So it's a good example where multiple names would pop up, even in the same state or town. And then, like I said, you could search by phone. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I've definitely used this often when people are looking for addresses, especially, or phone numbers. I'm gonna look up, like, Hubbard Avenue. I always do Hubbard Avenue Diner as an example, but
You just heard my phone ring and a number always comes up on our TV screen. So we could actually type that number in and see who's trying to reach us.
you could try. Sometimes AtoZDatabases isn't always going to grab it, but
Okay.
it's definitely a resource you can try. You can also just try Googling that number.
Oh, okay.
Because in Google search boxes, you can just Google a number, and then if that pops up as like from a business or somewhere else, it'll come up as one of the results. There is also down here, other than that income home value, you can search healthcare professionals here. So if you're trying to find information on like where they went to school, sometimes, you know, often that information is on your doctor's website from whatever clinic they're at, but this could be a way that you could try and find some more information. So let's see, what if I do, I don't know if that's how I spell it or not. Okay, so this is my son's pediatrician, Dr. Hageman. So it looks like she is marked here in Madison. I don't know why there's two different ones, but if I click on her, then it's going to give me some information like where she works, her main line of business, phone number, and fax that you can reach her at. So if you wanted to like print or download this, this can be helpful. If somebody gives you a name of a doctor, if you have something very specific that you need help with, and they're like, oh, you should try this person, but they don't have any contact information for them, this is another way that you can try and find that information. And you know that it's going to be as up to date as possible. Because every day, AtoZDatabase is downloading more and more up-to-date information. So if Dr. Hageman would stop working at SSM Health and go to a different hospital, when that goes through their system and she is no longer there, then that information, I'm sure within a couple days of her officially not working there, would be updated, and then she wouldn't be posted as there. So that's another fun one. that I think is really helpful. And let's see.
Did I miss something when you did the beginning? You had advanced searched up there? What is the advanced search on some of those things? Like for the person advanced
Oh,
search?
right here.
No, person?
Oh, for the person. So that was just the thing that I clicked down at the bottom on the home page. That's just the advanced. So
Okay,
the
thank you.
240 million residents that get started. That just goes directly to the advanced search. But so you can do more than just name
Okay,
where they live. You can kind of get specific. Sometimes this is more what businesses are looking at, is all that extra information. Most of the time when regular people like you and I are just using this database, we might be looking for people we used to go to school with or old family members that we might have lost touch with, and you're trying to find, oh, what's their address? I want to send them a holiday card or something like that. So then you would
okay.
by them that way. So like I could search.
We can go on. That was just, I just missed that. We can go
Oh,
on.
no, that's fine. I actually want to see if I can get more information from somewhere. And then I do state. I don't know if I'm going to find anything. Let's try.
What is the radius around an address or a zip code?
That would be like, yeah, you'd put in your zip code or how much the radius is, like if you want to go 30 miles out from said zip code.
So that would be good for travel.
Yes. So it looks like it did pop up something for me. That's what I was looking for. So this is my cousin. She moved out to Montana. And I don't have her address at all. So now I could write this down and I have her address. If you notice, there is only an address, there is no phone number. So like I said, it's usually going to be stuff that's information that's publicly found. Sometimes you can find, like I said, cell phone numbers on here, but I'm not sure how that would have gotten in. That would have been from a different route than what AtoZDatabases usually uses. Most of their stuff is public knowledge information.
Okay, we can go back to where you were. That's okay. That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. They do have, so like I said, for some of the help information at the top, since I went through, oh, there's this find a person platinum search. I think that's new. Let's take a look at that quick.
Criminal search?
I'm not sure if this is something that's included in the library section, so let's just see. Oh gosh. Is it just anybody? Find anybody? Name, nothing, address. Well, let's just try my cousin this way and see. No, let's just do. I think this must be a new thing. And I don't know if it's included, so we'll see if it's an extra subscription to A to Z that it says after it finds its results. You know how when you go to some of those websites where it's like, I'm going to find all this information for you, but I have results, but first you have to pay $20. No, it looks like I didn't find anything. Yeah, I'm not sure if that would really come up with stuff or not. I have to play with that a little bit more. But again, it did open up a tab, so I'm able to just click out of that. I'll have to look at that a little bit more. But what I was trying to get at is, again, if you feel like you need help a little bit on how to make your search a little better, there is the intro videos. If you're using this for business, they do have lots of different stuff that's tailored to that specifically. So how to get sales leads and mailing lists. You would use your download button that I showed you before once you get big lists of businesses. And then they also have the FAQ section. So they have just kind of usual questions. And then they do have this training center here that you can click on, and you can attend other classes that are free through your subscription with the library. So you can do that and register, and then those are all virtual, but it would be specific classes for each of these titles. So they change these all the time. So if you're interested in that, that would be something extra outside of the overview that we're looking at tonight here. And another new thing that they have on here is COVID-19 testing information, just locations and addresses and phone numbers. So all the same kind of information that they deal with anyways, but just really specific to what's going on right now in our country and across the world. So that's a new little thing. I'm sure that won't always be there, but that's there as well. Let's see. I want to quick just look at this for our last thing. So if you're looking to use this for business, you can say you're looking for a certain place, so you want it to be women owned. Let's see. If you're looking by certain codes, you can click on the codes. Industry group. So maybe I want retail and trade, and only women owned. If I hit search without putting in any information, then I'm just going to get a big list based on that. So these are all women owned retail places. So here, and this kind of result, you can sort because you have more results in business searches. You can sort it if you want. You can look at this information by map. So all those results are going to start popping up with little pings everywhere, and then you can zoom in. I'm not going to make it load it right now because it's going to take forever. You can look at the data matrix if you want. I'm going to go back. You can look at some of the details that are here on the side. And then you also, like I said, you always have your download button. So please select at least one to record. So you have these little squares here. If you want all of them, you can just do the one above, and you can say download. Again, you can name the file. You can decide whether you want this in an Excel sheet or not. And maybe let's just do details. So this is just for the 25. So I'm going to hit allow just so we can see what it looks like once it's done. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the Excel file that opened here. But I can just pull it up and it's already sorted nicely for me. I don't have to go through and write all this myself. So it's really helpful for businesses when you're trying to, maybe you want to contact every woman who owns this business because you're trying to sell something to that kind of category of entrepreneurs. So it's really helpful. And it gives you so many different ways to get that information. So that's how you can use that business section there too. Let's go home. And I think that's probably, oh, let's look at this one. Who's the last one? So there's new movers or new homeowners. So if you wanted to go by like city and state, so I'm gonna go by Wisconsin, and then I'm actually gonna type in Fitchburg, see what pops up. No criteria. That's a lie because I said okay and it kept going. So it's listed alphabetically by last name, it looks like. So I wanted, oh, okay. Let's see. That's a lot. Let's see if I can up the number of records per page. Let's just do, trying to get through the A's. It's never gonna happen. I wish there was a way to jump through the alphabet here. There's nothing on that sort button though that allowed me to do it. Oops. So what I'm trying to do is find myself, but I'm never gonna get there. At least I would assume that I would be in this list. I don't know. Maybe for some reason it's not on there. I don't know how, when they say new movers, like how many months, if it's like within the last month or the last 6 months. Maybe then it'd be long gone. Say we bought our first house last October. Oh, it's gonna take forever. Okay, I'm just gonna click on one so that we can see what that looks like. Let's do,
Doesn't matter.
yeah, this one's not a Madison one, but so it tells you where they moved to and where their previous address was and how many miles that is between the two. And then it looks like right here it's not giving me too much housing information in the neighborhood, other than it's multifamily and it's an apartment, so it says not homeowner. If I go back to results, I choose like, okay, this one looks like it Or maybe be a house. No, no. It says no. Not homeowner. I keep choosing ones that say no for no homeowner. You kind of get the idea though. So this is, so businesses like home construction businesses, they might use this to try and find new homeowners in their area to then send out like their little postcards with maybe like their discounts and things. I know when we moved, we had a whole slew of these things come in the mail, and you always wonder like, how did they know that I'm here? That's through here. So how did they know that I just moved in? Now it's public knowledge when a house gets sold, and then that gets put into these databases here, and then they get the information that way. So that was the last one I was going to show you. So if you have any other questions or want me to try and do a different kind of search here, let me know. But like I said, I will tomorrow I'll put the handout on the website. I'm sorry that I was not able to get that off of my work computer from home here, since my my other computer was not working correctly. But I will have that on the website. So that would be under, just show you here quick. So it's midlibrary.org. And then under the adults section, we do have our list of past programs, which include the video and then any handouts that we might have. There we go. So here are some past classes, and then if there is a handout, it says click for handout, and then you can save it to your computer. The handout for tonight is just kind of going through what we did with searches and how to save your results and your findings for a later time. But thank you so much for coming tonight.
Well, I tried to come there in person because it said on your website that you were there in person.
I heard. I don't know why it said that. I'm so sorry about that.
Well, that's why. So is this only for Middleton? Middleton, is there other libraries? I'll have to look and see. Now you'll have that. So how did you get in here in the beginning? You just went through the database. So I'll go look.
Yeah.
I'll look at your thing
So
tomorrow.
it's from our website here, and it's just resources, online databases, and then
Okay.
A to Z databases there.
So would you have to be a Middleton library subscriber?
Other libraries either have A to Z or Reference Solutions, which is a very similar
Okay.
website. So if your card has a different one, you know, it's kind of either or. But
Okay. Okay.
most of the libraries in the area do have this. But if not, for some reason you find that your home library does not, you can always contact circulation here at Middleton, and then we can change your home library to Middleton, and then you would have access.
Just for the thing that I found interesting here was the map part of it. Like I travel all the time, so the map thing that you were doing, it showed different things of like if you want to go like, especially now during COVID, you want to go 2 hours away or 200 miles. That would be a very interesting thing to go
You're
through.
looking to see like what businesses are where and whatnot. Yeah,
Well, or what, or is it just towns? Is it just towns, or is it businesses, or what is it?
it's, well, I mean, it's businesses, or like I said, you could do job hunting, or if you're looking for people and their addresses.
Okay.
That the map is going to show like where those people are, where their address is on a map, or where that business is on the map.
Okay.
And that can be, it can be useful for travel. Like if you're looking for restaurants, this could be a way that you could search with the map, you know, what's going to be in that area. So it is another way that you can use that. All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, our programming is going to stay virtual for now. That is the last piece of us kind of opening up, but starting next Monday, we are open for our full hours again, Monday through Saturday. And both levels of the library will be open. And so it's just in-person programming and our meeting room bookings that are gonna take a back seat and we're gonna wait a little bit on. But we're excited to have you back. Have a good night, everybody.